everyone. We are today with Angelo Miranda, fitness and wellness expert, using glass to teach how to be fit and healthy. Hello, Angelo. May we start
Hi,
with
how you guys
a
doing?
brief introduction to yourself?
Oh, sure. So, like you said, my name's Angelo Miranda. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Um, I have been a fitness and wellness expert for the last 12 years now. So I have been embedded in my industry for quite some time and have a pretty good tenure as well. Like you said, I just have been graced with the opportunity to start wearing these guys, Google Glass. And so far, it's changed a lot about my business and the way I've been able to help others.
Okay, great. So, how did you get glass, in fact?
About 8 months ago, picked up the Wall Street Journal, and I noticed I'm a undercover techie, so I don't have too
Yeah.
much of a techie background, but I do have a draw towards technology and new innovations. Just part of my daily routine, picked up the paper, noticed that Google was offering a competition via the hashtag if I had glass, and you would have to fill in the rest with what your objectives would be if you were able to have one of these devices. My response was that I wanted to start implementing video and cyber fitness tours. Ideally, I would be in one part of the country, one part of the world, where my clients can be in another part, and I can share different experiences from my point of view, and different routines, ideas, different tools to help benefit somebody with health and wellness goals.
Okay. I guess Google answered yes to your response, and so you get glass. You're lucky, you know.
Yeah. So I feel that way. I agree.
Yeah. So quickly, what is your point of view on glass and the wearable computing in general? Is it really the future of technology?
Well, briefly, like you said, I do think it is going to be the future. I truly do believe that we're all going to have some type of wearable product, even within the next 8 months. We've already seen it in the health and the wellness industry, with wrist wearables, things like Fitbit and the Nike Fuel Band. But I really do think that this is a game changer for technology and just different industries.
Okay. You're using glass to help others achieve a fitness lifestyle, if I'm right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So does glass really help you doing that?
Well, so far, we know that this is the beta version that I've received. So it has really propelled me into exploring my more techie side and programming side and looking and meeting other developers and other programmers. One thing that I do have to say that was a big surprise to me was the community that has surrounded themselves with this device. I think it has been really, really interesting. The people that have met, through the cyber environment, that have been really, really helpful in helping me utilize this for these types of services. So what it really does now for my fitness business is ultimately allows me to document things a lot easier. So I can really record actual routines, actual individuals performing the exercises. I can basically email it to them, post it to our sites and whatnot. Different avenues. It's pretty much limitless. But again, we're still working with the beta version, it is at its least, it's an Android product. It's a Google product. So you got to imagine that it does really, really well with other Google products. I do think it's the future, and I think it really has been helping me out.
Great, great. I'm glad Glass is walking over to two explorers at least, and maybe we'll see others who aren't agree with you.
Sure, I hope so. I hope so. One of my really near future plans is to start rolling out free fitness via the internet. So what I will be hosting is hangout sessions like we're involved in now, but they'll be fitness based. So you'll see me on my end doing all my strongman stuff, while I'll have a community out in front of me doing the same thing. And it'll be a live streamed conversation, or fitness conversation, as we could say. Just like, again, like you and I are having right now, but the dialogue would be all based on exercises. And I want to form this cyber community that really is based around utilizing technology for health benefits. So really bridging that gap.
Okay. Mm, since you have Glass, did it really fulfill your dreams about it? Did it help in your job? Did it really help? And did you think it was the way it is?
Right. Well, I knew that it was, since it's such a new product, and to be frank, me living in the Midwest, I have noticed that people in the Midwest react differently than people on the coast. Now, the only reason why I say that is just I just think that there's cultural differences. Some cultures are a lot more, even in a diverse country like United States. Different states have their different things going on, and they approach things a lot differently. Some are a lot more open to technology, where I feel like the Midwest, people just don't know what to make of it. They don't know if I'm a cyborg, or if I have something wrong with my right eye. They either feel really sorry for me, or they feel as though I'm recording them. So I get those questions. What are you doing with it? How'd you get it? And are you recording me? Where when I went to New York to pick them up, and I got to spend a weekend out there, people were very much more open about it, and they already knew about the technology. They already saw people walking around New York City with them. So, I mean, I guess I'm veering off your initial question, but I wasn't expecting much, to tell you the truth. Okay, I was really expecting that some type of a Bluetooth device at the most, and that was just my way of, I feel, of trying to be realistic with a couple factors. The first factor was that they were quite open with the idea that this was a beta version. A, B, the price point alone, with it being $1,500, $1,600 American dollars with tax, plus flight fare and airfare, I should say, and hotel. I understood that this was going to be an investment in some way, shape, or form. So I think it's a long-term thing. I think, especially where I geographically live, I think people are going to have to become a little bit more accustomed to people walking around and using devices like this to incorporate into their everyday lifestyle. And again, what I'm really focusing on the health factors behind it, which I do think is going to be one of the major industries that does benefit from this device: the medical community, healthcare community, and fitness community.
And obviously, as you said, Glass is a bit scary. Uh, maybe it has an involvement in with the lack of privacy. What is your opinion on that? The lack of privacy spotted by governments and others.
Well, as you can imagine, it's a big conversation here in the United States now. Um, so, well, I mean, it's as simple as this. I'm recording you now. You're recording me now. I should be very, very careful and choose my words appropriately, because we have this common agreement. We both agreed to host this conversation, to open up this dialogue with one another, and we were naturally assuming that we were going to record this. Now, when I walk into a cafe, we have to assume, as these new explorers with this device, we have to assume that other people are, again, don't know what to make of it. So I've been doing things to overcompensate for that. So when I walk into a public place, I do take it off and I position it on top of my head. I just think it's an appropriate thing to do. I think there's just going to have to be some ethics involved and some manners, new manners that have to be developed with this new type of technology and with the whole implementation of wearables in society. When I enter a restroom, same thing. I position them on my head because ultimately I do not want that attention. I don't want individuals to be assuming that I am recording them. With all that said, there are third-party companies already developing little privacy devices or little add-ons, accessories that go over the glass camera in such a way to where it's quite apparent that I am covering up the portion that everybody is so confused about, again, which is the camera and the recording application. Some of the other issues as far as like being able for the device to be hacked, I'm sure the opposite is going to be true too as well. To where Google is going to roll out a next set of updates, which they have already been surprisingly really good about, as far as updating the device and whatnot. But I think they've only released it to the key people for a reason. So developers and individuals that really do have a plan for the device. And I feel as though it's just going to be a growing process. So the Privacy Act, in a couple of years, it will be a non-issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you put your glasses on your hair, is the people reaction different?
Not necessarily. I think it does a couple of things. One, it hides it fairly well. So they either think you have your sunglasses on your head, which is inconspicuous, or they think you have a strange headband on. And I rarely get any questions about glass when it's on my head. But when it's on my face, it's quite apparent that obviously I have some type of device on my face. When you make eye contact with individuals, it's definitely a conversational piece. That's for sure.
And what is the next step for you with glass now?
So the next step is to continue to slowly roll out more type of virtual fitness tours, virtual fitness classes, and continue traveling and offering people different landscapes that they may not be able to see because of just their geographical placement and their own lifestyle. So I would like to hopefully open up the doors for individuals to experience and go a little bit beyond in order to reach their fitness and health goals.
And let's talk about the release process. We're only in a beta version, like you said, and there's 8,000 explorers around the world. How do you think glass will enter the full market when it will be released, maybe in 2014?
So it's just speculation, and it's just my opinion is really based off of again this new community that I've just been introduced to. And again, I can't talk highly enough about some of the people that I've met through Google Plus. They've just been really, really helpful. And so again, my opinion is based on what I've been reading and what other people are speculating as well. And so far, it seems as though it's going to be treated like almost every other device, to where it's slowly rolled out. You would have to buy some type of a service plan to go along with it, right? Some type of data plan to go along with it, because to be frank, it can't be sold by itself. It has to be tethered to either a hotspot, some Wi-Fi, accessibility without a password right now, and also or a cell phone. So I think it'll definitely be treated as more of a Bluetooth device, so an add-on, an accessory to your cell phone, and not necessarily something that fully replaces your cell phone. Not just yet. I think that would be a really foreign concept for the general consumer to really, to ask somebody to let go of their phone these days is a big deal, I think. So I think it's going to be made affordable. I think it's going to be probably under $600, $500 once it is released. But I do think there, because of the privacy um, actions that we're taking and conversation that we're having here in the States, I think the release date will get pushed. I think it's probably going to be about 2015 to where we actually see a really good, ready for consumer purchase and rollout. I think that's my biggest prediction out there, is that we're not ready for it just yet.
Oh, and talking about glass problems, how do you feel about your battery lifetime about in your of your glass and of your
Oh,
cell phone?
yeah. So far it's okay. It if you have so you got to imagine, just like any other digital camera, what really eats up the battery is when the aperture is open. So when you're actually videotaping something or having this type of dialogue, a video call with someone, or you're really using it a lot. Um, I think what Google was trying to do was trying to put the information in front of you and then take it away, because they do want you to have more interactions with daily life, as opposed to just walking down the streets of life with a phone in front of your face. So I do love that concept, but again, the more that you use it, the more that you have pushing in front of you. So right now there's third-party apps that are available, and some of those third-party apps do use a lot of battery, because let's say they're an app that links you up to YouTube, so it allows you to search YouTube or post things on YouTube. But you got to imagine, if you're watching a video through Glass, that again, it's going to be using a lot more battery life. So the way I handle that is I have a Morphe, and I'm not necessarily trying to push the product at all. But so far, it has shocked me, because it has dual ports. It lasts a long time, and I could have this in my pocket, the cord running down my back. I mean, it makes me look even more like a cyborg. But I only have the necessity to do that for a couple of occasions when I know I'm going to be videotaping a lot of stuff and putting a lot of data, collecting a lot of information. So I rarely use it. I could plug it up and plug it to the Morphe and just let it sit on my desk, let it charge up. When I go pick it up, it charges up really quickly. When I pick it up, it's ready to be used again. So I think it's a non-issue, to tell you the truth.
And when Glass is connected to your mobile phone, does it have a real impact on the lifetime of your phone?
No, so far I haven't noticed much. I haven't noticed much. It's just like any other Bluetooth device. If you do have that Bluetooth option constantly running, or hotspot option constantly running, then yes, it's going to eat some of your battery up, your battery life up. But with them coinciding with one another, it's allowing me to use my phone less. So that means that the LED light on my phone is not on. And since this is just such quick information, again, I can have my text messages read to me. I can have my emails read to me while driving, which is still not illegal in Illinois. So I'm doing it safely and abiding by all laws. But again, they work hand in hand. So that's the reason why I feel Glass is not trying to replace our cell phones. It's just really trying to add a very unique accessory.
Okay, so it's you think it's not more than an accessory. So will it have a big impact on our society when it will be released? You think?
I do think so. I do think so. There's a little bit of a learning curve, just like I'm noticing. The more involved I get into the device, the more intuitive it becomes. The more information I share on Google, the more intuitive it becomes. So I think with that said, I ultimately, I think, yes, I think it's a great product. I think it's it's going to change a lot of stuff. It's going to change a lot of stuff, that's for sure. Whether or not it's going to look like this when it gets rolled out for the general market is something to be debated. I don't know if necessarily this is going to be the look. Just because it's right eye dominated. So what if for some reason I'm a left eye dominant individual? How do you cater to that? I think it being out of the way is so much smarter than other devices. There's some other devices that have heads up displays that are placed lower, and for me that just seems a little bit dangerous. But I do think that it's going to be embedded in glasses sooner than we think. But again, just my opinion, just my prediction.
And if I understood right, you're developing apps for Glass?
So I'm teaching myself how to program right now. So I just started Python and PHP courses. So I'm working with 2 different developers. I've tested some fitness apps already. And again, it's all because of the community that has been made available. If I didn't have Glass, I wouldn't be following up on trying to develop apps for Glass. And what I'm learning is that it's because of its Android base. It's really easy to merge different APIs and Android-based APIs to get them to really work together, and you're able to backload some apps onto Glass. So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's definitely hackable, and I think it's definitely hackable for the non-programmers out there.
So we're near to the end of this interview. What advice would you give to glass lovers like us who can't have glass yet, so they can have it right now or maybe a bit later?
Right. Well, I say just keep watching, pay attention. There's a lot of us out there already. Watch how we're using it and what we're using it for. And just be patient, because ultimately Google has us in the palm of their hand, folks, when it comes to this device. And I think they're being really careful about how this process gets developed. It's just such a big conversation right now on different levels. Yeah. Both positive and negative. So like I said, be patient, stay strong. And the more people that you guys continue to talk to, I think the more information you'll get to realizing what you would actually use it for. Because I do think that the major lesson learned for myself is that this is definitely a great tool, and you definitely should have some type of plan implemented on how you want to utilize this tool.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
And is your watch connected?
Oh, good question. So this is the old iPod. So
okay.
They discontinue this version, but this is the old iPod. So I could just get my music. It has a very small GPS Nike Plus system to it, but no, it's just an iPod. Not yet, guys.
And I have a last question for you.
Sure.
In one word, what does Google Glass mean for you?
Oh, can the word have a hyphen? How about game changer? Because it definitely has changed the game, guys. It definitely has changed the game. I mean, I honestly would never think that I would be doing an interview with, individuals from France. So it's made a big impact on my life already, and I'm assuming for the rest of us in the near future.
Okay, great. Then thanks a lot, Angelo Miranda, for your patience and your kindness. See you soon for other GlassStories interviews.
Hi again, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, be sure to let us a comment. And don't forget you can watch the next Explorer's interview clicking right here, or the previous clicking right there. Also, don't forget to check out the website GlassStories.com for more exciting stuff about what Google Glass is. Bye bye! Bye bye!